Hello there, my name is Cameron Day, and this recording is coming to you from ascensionhealth.com. Several people have asked me to put a recording and a video out that covers basic meditation. Some of the techniques of self-clearing that are on the website are a little advanced, and some people need to work their way up to those. And the first place to start is getting calm, getting centered, getting focused. So that's what we'll be covering here. I'd like you to make sure that your environment is quiet and that you won't be distracted for the next 10 minutes. That's all we'll need, 10 short minutes. I'd like you to close your eyes. Don't worry about the images on the video if you're watching the video. Right now I just want you to go within. So close your eyes and start breathing deeply. Now, deep breathing is extremely important. It gives you a sense of fullness in your lungs, presence in your body. It's vital to any type of spiritual practice. So as you breathe, first send all of the air down into your stomach. Really push that stomach out. Don't worry, nobody's looking at your belly. And then as you fill your lungs from the bottom up, only at the very end do you want to let your chest open up to get that last little bit of air in. Keep breathing slowly and deeply. Keep your eyes closed. And now take both of your hands, put one of them on your forehead and one on the top of your head. And just gently rub top of your head, gently rub your forehead. What we're doing here is just putting your awareness on the parts of your body that we're going to awaken first, which is your pineal gland, otherwise known as your third eye, and your crown chakra. So just send your intent to these energy centers, that you will open them up as much as you can right now. You don't have to worry about how much it'll open. Just intend that you will open them to the degree that you can. So just breathe deeply. Send your awareness to your forehead and the top of your head. And now you can set your hands back into a comfortable position. And I'd like you to imagine a ball of light about 2 feet above your head. This is the divine aspect of yourself that animates your body. It gives you life. It gently guides and protects you during the events of your life. Now imagine the light growing brighter and the ball of light growing larger. Breathe deeply. Now see a beam of light come down into the top of your head from this divine light. Imagine this beam of pure love energy filling your head with soothing light, activating your crown chakra, activating your pineal gland. Breathe deeply and send the beam of light down into your throat. See it illuminating your throat from the inside. Feel the sense of fullness from this light as it travels into your heart, and breathe deeply, breathing in that light. Let your heart light up as you continue to breathe deeply and feel that divine light that is your divine presence. Let the beam travel down to your solar plexus. Breathe it in as your abdomen lights up with your divine essence. The light travels down to your belly, soothing you as you breathe deeply into your stomach. As the light moves down to your genital area, it generates pleasant, soothing sensations that resonate through your whole body. Breathe deeply, exhaling slowly. Begin to consciously slow down your pace of breathing, remembering to fill your entire lungs from the belly up. Feel the fullness of air and divine light as your lungs expand and then exhale. Now imagine this beam of light expanding into a huge, all-enveloping sphere that covers your entire body, sending life force energy flowing down your legs and through your feet. As the sphere expands, energy moves down your arms and out your hands. Now see and imagine the energy flowing freely from your hands, and place them anywhere on your body that you're feeling discomfort. Don't resist the discomfort. Simply breathe deeply and let that divine energy flow into your body, soothing the pain with love. Now that sphere that was once a couple feet above your head is now enveloping your entire body, penetrating every cell of your body, filling it with love and your own divinity. Breathe deeply and welcome your higher self, your divine aspect, home into your body once again. This is the energy of love that gave you boundless energy as a child. It only retracted a little bit and parked above your head because you started to believe that God was outside of you and that you weren't divine. But the truth is that your divinity was just a breath away, waiting patiently and lovingly for you to fully welcome it back into your body once again. Breathe deeply and enjoy the remembrance of the God aspect within you. And from this place of connectedness and joy, simply ask your God self to fully activate your crown chakra and pineal gland as much as is possible for you at this time. And simply breathe deeply and allow the activation to occur. Continue to breathe and enjoy this wonderful energy. At this point, we can segue directly into the cosmic flush process, or we can simply remain in this state, whatever feels right for you. As you breathe deeply, center your focus in the now moment. Let go of thoughts of the past. Let go of any worries about the future. Only this moment exists. Everything else is just a thought. As you get more relaxed, continue to breathe deeply and tune in to your God mind, your higher self, your God self. Whatever you call the spark of the divine that's inside of you and inside all of life. The way in which you tune in to this divine aspect of yourself is up to you. If this concept is new for you, simply say, I ask for my God self to come forward into my consciousness. All you're doing is invoking the divine aspect of yourself, which is always present within you. Simply allow yourself to feel the infinite love that the divine aspect of yourself embodies, and breathe deeply. Avoid the urge to analyze if you're doing it right. There is no wrong here. Simply remain in the present moment, and when you become distracted, return your focus back to the present. Now, focus on the present moment and tune in to the consciousness of the Milky Way galaxy. I call this consciousness the galaxy being, but the label that is used is immaterial. Galactic being, galactic consciousness, galactic mind, those are some of the various names that people use. I like galaxy being because it's short, it's simple, easy to remember. So breathe deep and simply focus on the galaxy being, and its energy will enter your awareness. After a few breaths, staying in that place of feeling the energy of the galaxy being, tune in to the galactic core, also known as the galactic sun. This galactic core is the focal point that our galaxy revolves around. It's the source of a massive amount of transformative love energy that is coming forth to be expressed on our planet at this time, through each and every person on the planet who chooses to open themselves to it. Continue to breathe deeply, remembering that you're now tuned in to the core of our galaxy, to the entire galactic consciousness, and to your own divine aspect. Now simply ask for the cosmic flush. This will start a cascade of energy flowing into you from every direction simultaneously. From the crown of your head, down your spine, through your body, all the way into the core of the planet. You're literally acting as a channel for galactic energy to flow through your body, into the planet, and out into the collective consciousness of society. The beams come from the side, from angles, from the front, from the back. Flowing energy through every meridian in your body, through all of your chakras, through your cranial, sacral energy channels, through your spine, through your nervous system, through every cell in your body, through every subatomic particle of your being. This energy is very powerful, but your God Self will make sure that you get just the right amount of energy for you at this time, or any given time that you engage this process. So don't worry, you're not going to overdo it. Just relax Let the energy flow through you, calming you, soothing you, connecting you to infinite energy. Continue to breathe deeply. Either focus on the energy with your eyes closed, or use the image on the website of the Cosmic Flush as a visual aid. Keep your awareness in the present moment. When your ego starts to analyze and record events, which it will do, simply thank your ego for its contribution and ask it to remain silent. Breathe deeply and remain in this space of connectedness to galactic energy and your own divine energy for a few more moments. If you practice the Cosmic Flush often, you'll be able to tune into your God Self, the Galaxy Being, the Galactic Core, and engage the Cosmic Flush in just a few seconds. That way you can engage it at any time, anywhere, and for as long as you want. So if you're stuck in traffic, feeling a little stressed out, simply breathe deep, tune in to your God, the Galaxy Being, the Galactic Core, and engage the Cosmic Flush. A few deep breaths, a few moments of the Cosmic Flush, and a lot of that stress from the traffic jam will simply wash away. All it was in the first place was your ego mind resisting the way things are at this moment. We're going to address the ego quite a bit more, but the next step in our process is energy refund. So let's go there now. On the stage of energy refund, clearing your energy field of external harmful and unloving projections. Okay. Let's take a moment, breathe deep, focus on the Cosmic Flush, ask your God Self and the Galaxy Being to send any harmful, unloving projections that are in your energy field back to the God Self of the sender. Now, ask your God Self to bring back all of your own harmful, unloving projections that you have sent out so that you can address them in time as your God mind sees fit. Don't worry, it's not going to all hit you like a ton of bricks, but you will be reclaiming power that you've put out in the form of judgments, unloving thoughts of others, resistance to the way other people are or to the way events in the world are. You're simply reclaiming that energy. As this process unfolds, you may feel sensations in your body, you may feel some pain. Don't resist it. Simply put your awareness on it. Stay focused in the present moment. Don't analyze. Don't go into your ego. Don't start worrying about who's sending you harmful, unloving projections. Simply let it go. Let your God deliver this energy back to the God Self of the entity or entities who sent it. If you allow your ego to step in, you'll begin judging the energy. and resisting it. Simply stay focused on the present moment and allow your God Self to send this energy back to the God Self of the sender. You can use a little helpful mantra if you want. One that I like is, what's yours is yours, what's mine is mine. Very simple. It's important to just stay in a neutral state of mind. Do not allow yourself to go into judgment, anger, resentment, victimization, or any unloving emotion, as that will slow down or even stop this entire process. If you're feeling right about now, or at any point, that there is energies stuck, so to speak, in your energy field, ask the galaxy being to deliver a transmutational hologram to free up any stuck energies, so that your God Self can give that energy back to the God Self of the sender. The galaxy being is extremely efficient at hologram delivery, so allow it to do the work so that you don't get bogged down in details. Remember, stay present, present moment, don't analyze. The reason we're asking our God Self to return these unloving holograms and projections back to the God of the sender is that if you try to send this energy back to the person from your ego level, you're simply going to perpetuate a battle of ego wills. And that's just going to escalate and escalate, and eventually end up to where you and the other person are psychically attacking each other. Obviously, that's counterproductive to our goals of clearing out our energy field. So when you allow your God Self to send the energies back to the God Self of the sender, the transaction, so to speak, takes place at a level beyond our ego duality, outside of drama and struggle and all of the other machinations of the ego. The reason you want to bring back your own projections is very simple. Everybody has a vast amount of energy tied up in judging others, condemning events, resisting the way things are in this moment. When you ask your God Self to bring this energy back, you're tapping into a metaphorical gold mine of your own energy. Now you will need to clean those judgments up, so to speak. You'll need to take your power back from them. So you're not going to get a gigantic lightning bolt of energy, but again, the cosmic flush is pretty close from a cosmic perspective of a bolt of energy through your being. So you've already got that out of the way. So don't worry about how that's going to process and come back. We're going to get to that. So as you disengage your own unloving projections from others and disentangle yourself from the harmful projections from the external environment around you, you put yourself in a state of inner peace and clarity. And this state is where we want to be in as we clear our energy field of unresolved issues from this life and from other lives as well. But before we go into that process, there's a small matter of minimizing the ego's involvement in all of this self-clearing energy work, and also minimizing its involvement in your life in general. And that's what we're going to address next. Alright, now, from this state of being in the cosmic flush, feeling that infinite energy flowing through your entire being, through your crown, down your spine, into the earth, coming back up your spine, moving front to back, left to right, every direction. Your body, your subtle energy fields, your various levels of your mind are all being bombarded with the beautiful, loving energy of the cosmos. You've had your God self send back any and all harmful, unloving projections back to the God of the sender, and you've reclaimed your harmful, unloving projections as well. But of course, as you engage those processes, your ego mind is stepping in, trying to analyze, trying to discredit what you're doing, saying it's all make-believe, it's la-la land, fantasy type stuff. That's your ego. That's what it's been doing for most of your life and for most of everybody's lives on this planet throughout human history. So don't feel bad that your ego is distracting you. We're going to diminish it so that you're not feeling like you're fighting or struggling against this ego part of yourself, but rather putting it into perspective so that it can be your helpful assistant as you go through the process of clearing out your own limitations. I do recommend Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth for a very in-depth analysis of the ego. It's extremely empowering for your evolution as well. As I said before, we're not struggling against, we're not fighting against the ego. We're simply taming the ego so that it can be your servant instead of your master. The real problem, so to speak, that the ego is presented in our lives is that its original role was to serve as a GPS navigation unit, kind of like what's in cars. They tell you how to get from point A to point B, how to remember where landmarks are, that type of thing. And an ideal balance of the ego mind in your overall sphere of consciousness, it should be doing about 10% of the thinking, helping you navigate the world without bumping into objects, reminding you of birthdays, reminding you of important upcoming events, helps you to communicate ideas effectively. So it can be very beneficial. Where it has become our detriment is that, imagine your GPS in your nice shiny new car. One day it started talking to you, started telling you good things about yourself, things you liked hearing. So you said, tell me more. But over time, the GPS decided it should just talk all the time. And it'll bring up painful memories from the past, bring up worry and anxiety about the future, tell you that you need to engage in image management so that other people will like and respect you, and basically do everything that it can to distract you from the present moment, because in this moment, right here and now, the ego has no hold over you. It can only control you through the past or through the future, dredging up old memories or worrying about what may come. But in this moment of right now, Eckhart Tolle calls it the power of now. Your ego has no hold over you. Your past has no hold on your consciousness. Until the ego chimes in and says, oh yes it does, because this happened to you as a child, and this happened to you as a teenager, and these people did these things to you, and therefore this is who you are. But the reality is that nothing that's happened to you in your life is who you are. It's simply the story that you've chosen to identify with. So I'd like you to just keep in mind the metaphor of the ego as your GPS or your office assistant, something helpful, but a small helpful part of your mind. Just keep remembering that's what it should be, small and helpful. Now that we've talked about the ego, let's get to the process of minimizing it. So just remember and re-engage your connection to your God self, to the galaxy being, to the galactic core. Engage the cosmic flush and ask your God to return any harmful, unloving energies that have been projected into your energy field back to the God of the sender. And now simply stay focused in the present moment. Feel the flow of the cosmic flush energy moving through you. Now, probably in that space, your ego engaged a thought process. Maybe something from your past, maybe a judgment about somebody else, a judgment about yourself, a judgment about me or this process, some sort of worry about your future, all kinds of things the ego can have popped up to distract you. So, now you know that's your ego. As soon as you realize your ego has taken over your thought process, simply say to it, "Thank you, ego, for showing me this issue. Now, please have a seat and be quiet." And then return your awareness to the present moment and the energy of the cosmic flush. Go ahead and do that now. Now, a good, helpful visualization to minimize the ego is just like you're minimizing a program on your computer. So you press that little button and it zooms down bottom left corner. Still there, waiting to pop up in case it needs to tell you something important. So whenever you minimize it, say, "Thank you for showing me this issue. Now please have a seat and be quiet." And then you minimize it. Boom, pops down bottom left corner of your screen. Turn yourself to the present moment. And that's it, as far as the minimizing goes. It's a very simple, deceptively simple technique that your ego will say can't possibly work, but it does work, and it ties in very specifically to the next process that we'll be engaging in, which is reclaiming your energy from your own limitations. So let's go there now. Let's re-engage your focus on your God self, the galaxy being, the galactic core. Activate and intensify the energy of the cosmic flush. Ask that the frequency of the cosmic flush energy flowing through you go as high as it can at this time, comfortably for you. We need to talk briefly about energy and thought forms. On the energetic level, a thought is just as real as a physical object is in the third dimensional reality. So if you repeat a limiting thought or a limiting belief in your mind enough times, it becomes a part of the reality of your own energy field. Most people simply live their lives in a state of unconsciousness, reacting to situations. They simply create all sorts of unconscious thought forms that they repeat in their minds over and over again, continually reinforce their notion of reality. Fortunately, all of that energy that we've put into all these thought forms can be reclaimed relatively easily. So focus on the cosmic flush, focus on the present moment. What you're going to do is simply wait for your ego to start down a line of thinking. But because pretty much every thought that's happening inside the ego mind has been repeated so many times, you'll know where that line of thought is going to go before you end up going all the way there and repeating the whole scenario in your mind. So as soon as you know where that thought's going to go, do the ego minimizer, minimizing your ego's input, but keep the awareness of the attitude or the emotion that those thoughts were tied to. So go ahead, focus on the now moment, simply relax, don't try to do anything. If you want to try to do something, simply keep your awareness on the present moment, feeling the energy flowing through you. Okay, there it is. Most likely, it's all it takes. It's about 10 seconds for most people's egos to start on a line of thinking. Now, since so many people are listening to this, obviously, I can only pick one example. So let's use something that most people can relate to. We're going to use an example of getting passed over for a promotion, or maybe passed over for an award, say from your school, that type of thing. Somebody else got something that you deserved. Everybody can relate to that. But here's the thing. It's only a strong emotion because it happened to you, and then you judge that situation as being bad, being something that you wish would not have happened. You decided that you would have been happier had it gone your way. And then as you repeat that limitation over and over again, all of the emotions that were tied into that, the anger, the resentment, the jealousy over the other person got what you wanted, all of those emotions kick in and release a cascade of chemicals and peptides into your body, giving you a physical response. And these triggered emotions, after they're flowing through your body, reinforces your ego's thought, as faulty as it is, that those emotions that you're experiencing as a result of remembering that experience are absolutely true and that they will never change. However, that is not the case. That's simply a limiting thought form that has a large, or maybe small, amount of your own energy bound up into it. So here's how we're going to address that. Return yourself to the state of present moment awareness. Breathe deeply. Feel the cosmic flush flowing through your entire being. And ask your God Self to bring forth the energy that you have tied up in the anger, the resentment, and the jealousy, all based around this event. Also, ask your God Self to bring forth the resistance to the anger, resentment, and jealousy. And that's important, resistance, because when we resist something, we're actually putting a large amount of our energy into wishing that it weren't so, or pretending that it's not really a part of us, or that it wasn't really a big deal. Well, obviously, we've made it into a big deal, so pretending that it's not is just going to take up more energy. So we're asking your God Self to bring forth all of the emotions tied up with this event and your resistance to them that you can address at this time. And that's very important. You only want to address what you can address at this time. No matter how effective this technique is, you're not going to be able to just strip out all of the anger, resentment, and jealousy from your psyche right this minute. This is a process. It unfolds like a flower, unfolding throughout your entire being. You can't force a flower to bloom, but you can give it fertilizer so that it grows big and strong, and that's what we're doing. We're fertilizing your mind, so to speak. Okay. So you've asked your God self for all of the energy that you can absolve with this issue right now. Your God self is going to present you with a picture of the energy of these unresolved issues. Now, it doesn't really matter how you perceive this picture. If you feel it in your body, a lot of people will feel it somewhere in their lower 3 chakras, or a pain in the head or in the neck. Some people will sense or see shapes or colors if their eyes are closed. Some people just know that that issue is real and that it's ready to be addressed. So don't worry about the details and how you perceive it. Just know that it's there. You've called it up. You're going to address it. So now return your focus to the present moment and engage your God self and communicate to your God. It is my desire to reclaim all available energy that I have put into these attitudes. I take responsibility for creating these issues and putting my energy into them. I now realize that I wanted the struggle in my life that these attitudes have created. I am ready to forgive myself for creating struggle via these attitudes. My dear God self, let's take back all of this energy now. Return your focus to the present moment and breathe deeply. Feel that flow of energy returning to you. If you feel discomfort in your body, don't judge it or try to get rid of it. Just move your awareness to it. And your awareness will direct the flow of cosmic energy to that discomfort. And it will usually transmute on its own. And by transmute, it's changing from a state of bound up, contracted energy into unlimited energy once again. Stay in the now. Focus on reclaiming that energy. If anything's feeling stuck, ask the galaxy being to deliver transmutational holograms to free up any energy that's bound to these thought forms that you are addressing. Transmutational hologram is like a beautiful shimmering orb containing all of the information, all of the wisdom of the galaxy being, of the God of your being. And in that light, in that love, in that wisdom, any stuck energies, any bound up energies that come into contact with it, they simply transmute from their state of contraction to a state of unlimited potential. And that's what we're doing. We're freeing up the energy that you have contracted and bound up in emotions so they can be unlimited once again. And you'll have access to that unlimited energy within your mind, within your body, and it will flow forward, enhancing your life, bringing new creativity, new joy, new love, a sense of peace with the moment. Instead of a sense of struggling against the moment to make something happen or to cover up a pain in the past. We're digging up all of these painful memories from the past. We're going to reclaim our energy from them. all that energy, all that pain, all that resistance to the pain will be transmuted back into a state of pure, unlimited energy that will flow through you in remarkable, uplifting, transformative ways. Now, for the people that are particularly sensitive to non-physical energies, you may sense some non-physical entities that have associated with you via the energy of the attitudes that we're addressing here. What that means is you've created a harmonic frequency. Imagine you are blowing on a harmonica, that funny little sound that it makes when you don't know how to play it. Well, that frequency is literally broadcasting out from your consciousness in all directions. So just like birds of a feather flock together in the physical world, the same is true of the non-physical world. So these entities have an affinity to that frequency that you're putting out with your own thoughts. Back to the example of jealousy, anger, resentment that we talked about earlier, somebody else getting that job or that promotion or that award that you wanted instead. Another entity will sense that frequency coming off of you, and they'll come and they'll hang out, having a little conversation, telling you, yeah, that's right, that person doesn't deserve it, you deserved it. So in a way, they're helping your ego identity become stronger and stronger so that you repeat the memory and the emotions attached to it. And that emotional energy that you're giving off is picked up on by that other entity, and it continues to hang out because it likes the vibe that you're putting off. So it's very important to remember that these entities are there because of your own attitude. They're not harming you, they're not stealing your life force, they're not your enemies. They are a natural result of your state of consciousness. So simply thank them for the role that they've played in your evolution. You can send them a thought such as, "Thank you for participating in my creations. But now I'm taking my energy back from these limitations, so you are free to go away on your own journey now." And you can ask the galaxy being to give them a transmutational hologram if they choose to experience one. But do not try to force a transmutational hologram onto them. They are simply an entity with their own free will. And just like you don't want to be forced to do anything, this entity, if you try to force a hologram onto it, will resist. And now you've got a power struggle happening on a non-physical level. Simply, like I said, thank it for its role, let it know that it can have a transmutational hologram delivered to it from the galaxy being, if it so chooses. 9 times out of 10, they'll choose to accept it, and their frequency will be raised, and they'll no longer feel an affinity towards you or anybody with that particular cluster of issues. Even if they don't accept the transmutational hologram, the entity will eventually leave because it's not receiving the frequency from your consciousness field that it has grown accustomed to. So don't worry, don't struggle, just simply stay in the moment. Let the energy of the cosmic flush flow through you. Reclaim your power from all those emotions and your resistance to those emotions. Take back as much of it as you can right now. during this entire process, it's very important that you stay neutral, or even better, you remain in a state of love. Now, if you're angry at, say, yourself for having these emotions, you're going to stop the process or slow it down. If you're angry at a non-physical entity for associating with you because you have these emotions, again, you're going to interfere with the process. When you can move into your heart and appreciate that these experiences and the emotions you've put on them have actually been a part of your overall awakening, your grander process that you're going through of experience and evolution on this plane, you're much more situated in your consciousness to take that power back. It's the resistance, the judgment, the anger, the victimization of these experiences that we perceive that hold us back and keep us from taking back the power that's in them. So instead of judging, you should rejoice. Be happy that you're engaging this process of liberating your consciousness from your own self-created limitations. Love all of your limitations, because that will move you into a space to reclaim the emotional energy that you've put onto them and tied up in them. If you can love yourself enough to forgive yourself and forgive others for those painful experiences, that's going to be that fertile soil that will allow your consciousness to flower to an amazing 1,000-petaled lotus, to borrow a phrase from a good friend of mine. I'm going to talk a little bit about peeling the layers and being patient with the process of cleaning up your own limiting attitudes and reclaiming the power from them. Although I won't be going too much into techniques on this recording, it's still a good idea that you listen to this after listening to the previous recordings on the cosmic flush, energy refund, ego minimizer, and reclaiming energy. So this process of self-clearing with the goal of ascension, quote unquote, it's not something that you can rush. You can't just go in and peel away your entire ego in a day or in a month or a year. We've repeated all of these emotions and thoughts and memories and patterns and judgments over and over again in our minds so many times. We've put so much of our mental energy into them that they are going to take time to remove. Fortunately, the techniques on this site do help make this process fairly efficient. And so what does it really mean to peel the layers? Well, my definition of this is that even though you address an issue today, and you do it as completely as possible, you're only addressing as much as you can deal with at this time. So over the next few weeks, other issues will come up in your psyche, and you'll peel away and reclaim power from those issues at those times. Now let's say a month has gone by, and suddenly another layer, another aspect of an issue that you addressed a few weeks ago shows itself, pops back into your consciousness. The thought process or a judgment or a person or an event comes into your life. It triggers all the same stuff, and you think to yourself, oh, I didn't make any progress. I just worked on this, and here I am in the same situation again. But What's really going on is that you've moved to a deeper layer of that issue, and that is progress. So you should acknowledge the progress that you've made, because it's an easy trap for the mind to fall into, to think, oh gee, I didn't do it right the first time, I failed, I'm going to be stuck in these patterns forever, blah blah blah. That's your ego. When you sense that occurring, thank your ego for its input, ask it to sit quietly in the corner, and if you want to, hold the awareness of the attitudes that it's popped up and work on them right there in that moment. Although you may be a little more distracted by the original issues that had surfaced, that your ego is telling you that you haven't owned. Because in reality you haven't fully owned them, and that's okay. You're peeling away the layers. So you just want to acknowledge that you're encountering a deeper level of that issue. Be thankful that it's shown itself to you again in a clear enough way that you can address that deeper layer right now. And then after you've gone through the process of reclaiming your energy and taking back as much as you can at that time, just remind yourself that I will be mindful of this pattern in my consciousness, and the next time it shows up, I will just reclaim my energy that has gone into keeping it in place in my psyche. It doesn't matter what you say, just the intent that you're going to be mindful of what's happening in your consciousness, and when a deeper level of a pattern or issue emerges, that you'll address that deeper level at the time. Now, during this whole process of reclaiming energy from self-created attitudes and limitations, your ego is going to flare up, and it's going to try to reassert its hold over your mind and to maintain its identity. The ego forms its identity through what's your story of your history, all of your past events, all of the emotions on those past events. So as we're taking the power back from those emotions, your ego is going to freak out a little bit because it's losing its power over your mind. It wants to do 95% of the thinking, but it should only be doing 10. So diminishing it down to 10% is a process that you simply have to work through. So ego flare-ups will take the form of many different ways. Depends on the person. Depends on your own unique history. Just watch out for irrational emotional outbursts, or even irrational emotions on the inside that don't ever come out. Watch out for judging others, or judging yourself, or judging the current events of your life. Watch out for lack-based thoughts, dwelling on painful emotions of the past. Also be mindful of excessive worrying about the future, or any worrying about the future. The ego loves to analyze every angle, every intrigue, every political undercurrent that's happening in your life with the people in it. That's your ego. Just minimize it when that occurs. Take back any power that's in those issues that the ego is bringing up to you. And that's the key. One of the keys to this process is, instead of succumbing to that torrent of thoughts that the ego can produce, you simply, as soon as you recognize that your ego is doing the thinking in your mind, think it, minimize it, and then engage the process of reclaiming your energy from whatever issue that it's brought up to you at that moment. It's extremely simple. It sounds almost too simple. But if you engage this process often enough, then you will literally unravel the structure of your ego. And as the ego is fighting for its own importance, it's going to show you the exact issues that you still have unresolved in your psyche. And once you've properly diminished the ego, you've got it back to where it's only doing 10% of the thinking in your mind. It's simply acting as your GPS or your office assistant. The light of the one infinite creator will shine through you. Amazing creativity, abundance, joy, and love will emanate from you naturally. You will tap into aspects of your mind that you never even knew existed because they were overshadowed by your ego. And as this process unfolds, every time you get a little brighter and your frequency gets a little higher, you are literally broadcasting a higher, more loving frequency to the entire field of consciousness on this planet. And as more and more people engage whatever process of self-clearing that works for them, as more and more people get cleaner within themselves, within their minds and their hearts, and more loving, that love affects those around them and eventually can transform our entire society. And that, in my definition, is an ascension process. So thank you for joining me on this process through these 5 recordings. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you benefit tremendously from them. If you do, please share with a friend and consider making a donation as well. If you'd like to find out more about remote energy sessions that I offer, go to ascensionhelp.com and click on Remote Energy Clearings. Thank you very much, and in the love of the one infinite creator, I wish you all the blessings that life has to offer.